Good morning, my diamonds. I'm looking at a clip here where it's showing how violence against women, it's getting out of control. It really is getting out of control. And we have one sergeant here, or commissioner, and he says how violence against women, it should be treated like terrorism. A lot of people are noticing all of the domestic violence. You have a lot of these older men who they have a sexual interest in children. This is ridiculous. All of this trafficking going on. Like when I said women being abused by their partners, they won't have to worry about that if they just leave these men alone. At the same time, even when you leave these men alone, you have men who are pushing themselves up on women anyway, And that's why women are starting to become, a lot more women are becoming licensed to carry. And it is what it is. Let me share this clip with you. Here we are.
In 1 year in London, the number of men who have an allegation made against them of a VAUG offence, so rape, domestic violence, child abuse, etc. The number of men in 1 year named is 34,000. In the country, the number of women who say they've been sexually assaulted in a year from the British Crime Survey is around 800,000. The National Crime Agency estimates that 750,000 men in the UK have a sexual interest in children. You start to add these numbers together, there are a lot of men who are a threat to women and children, and we're trying to build the capabilities to both react better to the crimes that are reported and to proactively, in public space or with dangerous offenders, protect women and children. And we're making progress by being cleverer, better organised. But we're going to need the support of future governments to really build the scale of resource to deal with this problem across the country that is the same scale of resource that you have proportionately to deal with, say, terrorism and organised crime. In 1 year in London, the number of men...
Now, he's just talking about 1 year, and he's talking about London. This is not speaking about universally all the things that are happening to women and all of the violence that they have to undergo. Now, and I know that there are men who undergo domestic violence as well. At the same time, pick up and leave, honey. And women should not be putting their hand on a man either. If you don't want to be hit, and I tell women this all the time, if you don't want to be hit, sweetheart, don't hit. Because come on, let's think about it. Physically, men are physically stronger than women. All you have to do is hit you one good time, honey, and it's over. Even though you got some women, baby, who knows how to... I have 5 brothers, so I think I'm pretty okay. I'm not great, but I think I know how to defend myself enough to get away. You know what I mean? At the same time, I keep telling women, stay out of the dating arena. If you don't have a family member, or you don't have brothers or cousins who's going to serve as soldiers for you, anytime some dude come out of pocket with you, like I said, a lot of women are starting to do this. Now, I don't know what other races of women are doing, but I know of several black women who are doing this.
Black women, like all Americans, feel that they need to be able to protect themselves. They're not waiting for some guy on a white horse to fly in and save them. They want to be able to protect themselves. If someone breaks into their home at 2 o'clock in the morning, they don't have the time to tell the robber or someone who's breaking their home, hold on, wait a second, let me call the police. They have to be able to deal with that threat right then and there, and that's what they're doing. Women en masse are taking upon themselves to be very independent and self-reliant, and they are purchasing firearms. Black women, like all Americans, feel that they need to be able to protect themselves. They're not waiting for some guy on a white horse to fly in and save them. They want to be able to protect themselves. If someone breaks into their home at 2 o'clock in the morning, they don't have the time to tell the robber or someone who's breaking their home, hold on, wait a second, let me call the police. They have to be able to deal with that threat right then and there, and that's what they're doing. Women en masse are taking upon themselves to be very independent and self-reliant, and they are purchasing firearms.
So there you have it. You have a lot of black women, and I know it's not just black women or ebony women who are purchasing firearms. You have a lot of women who are doing this because these men are out of control. You know, when you think about who do you have to protect yourself from, you're not fearful of children or other women. It's these men out here who are losing control and who are just, you know, they need to make stronger sentences. The first time you put your hand on a woman, you're doing 7 years straight time. There is no parole. That's the first time. So you lose your car, you lose your home, you lose your job, you lose everything when you're locked up. The consequences are not severe enough. And that's where the problem lies. But a lot of these women, okay. Put your hand on me and that'll be your last time. Let's see if you'll live to talk about it. How about that? And that's a lot of women's attitude now because they're sick of things like this. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, let's listen to Angelina Jolie.
The reason that many people struggle to leave abusive situations is that they've been made to feel worthless. When there is silence from a Congress too busy to renew the Violence Against Women Act for a decade, it reinforces that sense of worthlessness. You think, I guess my abuser's right. I guess I'm not worth very much.
I don't figure that out. I don't understand women who feel worthless because of what some imperfect, shallow, superficial, fickle man have to say. That part goes over my head, how they're made to feel like they're worthless. No man on this planet or human on this planet could ever make me feel worthless. You know, I don't understand all of that because Congress is a jackass. That means that I'm supposed to feel worthless because of what this dusty dude have to say. I'm supposed to feel worthless or like I have no value. You know, it's so important for women to know your value. You're not worthless. And what made you know what I would like? What made you feel worthless? Because of what? How does God see you? How does Christ see you? Who knows you better than you? So you should know all the good things about yourself. How do you feel worthless? How did anybody human on the planet allow somebody to make them feel like that? That kind of just freaks me out because it don't make sense to me. Somebody could say, I don't care what you say about me. I know me better than you know me. I know what I'm all about.
That's why passing this law is one of the most important votes you as senators will cast this year. Try to stay calm if after you were strangled and you find the courage to come forward, you discover that your chances of proving the abuse are now gone because no one took into account the different ways bruising presents on black and brown skin, and they failed to check properly for signs of injury. I want to acknowledge most of all, I want to acknowledge the children who are terrified and suffering at this moment, and the many people for whom this legislation comes too late. The women who have suffered through this system with little or no support, who still carry the pain and trauma of their abuse, the young adults who have survived abuse and emerged stronger, not because of the child protective system, but despite it, and the women and children who have died, who could have been saved.
Thank you very much for that, Angelina Jolie, who I totally love. She's an amazing actress and an amazing human being with the children that she's adopting to try to help them, you know, to put them in better situations. At the same time, this is why I keep trying to promote the sisterhood, women uplifting other women. And I'm not talking about homosexual practices. I'm talking about empowering each other. Women who are going to help elevate each other and support each other. Find a community church. Find a fellowship church. Try to build a form of sisterhood. Find other women. Go to the meetup groups. You get the meetup app. That's not about dating. It's about meeting people, just hanging out and meeting folks. If you have, just women, support women. Leave these men alone. It just don't make no sense. Twinkle, twinkle. I'm just, ooh.